All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life.
Welcome to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, all of the things, basically. If you want to find us, you can find us. I'm Sterling Holmes, live in studio. Darren Smith back at his home studio. I'm sure he's just got the college basketball games plastered on the walls in front of him. So I'm sure that's what you're doing. That's why you stayed at home. I'm very jealous because these first games have been phenomenal.
No, they've been good. I've disappointed in what K-State did last night, or at least who they played last night didn't score enough points for the both of us. But no, I've been following along the games. I'm a little gambler, so I like to just sprinkle a little dollar here and there and see if the basketball teams can make it do what it do. If they do that, then I become a very happy man. If not, it's only $1. That's how I look at it. Could have been a large fry, but instead I put on some basketball games looking to let it multiply itself.
Well, some big news. We have to go to the Kansas City Chiefs before we get into college basketball with the massive news of Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher getting released. I think that this was a pretty large surprise, especially after Mitchell Schwartz had surgery. Everything said was going ahead of schedule, everything looking good. And then Eric Fisher, Brett Veach basically saying he's going to be back week 1. And then all of a sudden, a week later, and they're both released. This to me was a little bit of a head scratcher. What do you make of this?
You really didn't think that Brett Veach was going to tell the media the truth, did you? It's redundant, but no, I was a little taken aback this morning when the news came down because I'm like, well, you made it seem like when you spoke to us just 2 weeks ago or last week, I can't remember what week it was. I'm like, you made it seem like they were going to be coming back, and the Chiefs are not going to have to worry about looking for offensive tackles or whatever. Plus, of course, you had the rookie coming back, who will now be a first year player coming back. In Lucas Niang. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe the line is going to be shored up and we won't have to worry about anything. But Brett Veach had always said that they're not really concerned about the cap stuff. So I believe even before the season ended that because he knew generally where the salary cap was going to be with Lamar Hunt being, of course, the chairman of the finance committee, it seemed as though he already knew some of the moves that he would make to make sure that this team was underneath the salary cap, and that was just by releasing the 2 offensive tackles. I mean, granted, look, even if let's say the timetables are true, again, I thought it was a stretch just for Eric Fisher to come back by the start of training camp with an Achilles tear. He's a huge man. Obviously, look for someone like Kevin Durant. He's much skinnier, but it still took him a long time to come back. It took him more than a year to come back and play at a high level. You're talking about a 300 plus pound man that has to not only strengthen that a leg that he had the Achilles injuries on, but he's going to be offsetting and putting more pressure on his other leg as well in the process of trying to heal. And then, of course, you got to train and get back into shape. So I never thought that he'd be able to make it back in time for game number 1 because if there's anything I know about the Chiefs in their history, they would have players such as a Mitchell Schwartz, such as an Eric Berry, that'll be day to day, and that day to day was stretched to be 3 months, or we're just going to put them on the injury reserve by the time the playoffs start.
I guess to me, we all talked about this. This saves them $18 million in cap space, and we all talked about the potential restructuring of both of these guys. We thought they were going to both get restructured, or maybe one gets released, not both. This puts so much pressure on Brett Veach right now to get this right. This puts pressure on Lucas Niang to step up and say, you know what? I'm the right tackle of the now and the future. Just to me, I guess this probably leads me to believe there's going to be a veteran signing. I don't think the Chiefs are going to go into the season with a first year guy basically in Lucas Niang and then another rookie. That to me doesn't make much sense. I think we should be on the lookout to see which veteran tackle is on the market. Orlando Brown Jr. is the first one that comes to mind to me. Does this lead you to believe that Orlando Brown Jr. is actually a target for Kansas City?
Well, if Kansas City's smart, which I believe Brett Veach is, or if the Chiefs are smart, uh, obviously he's on the radar. Now look, there's a lot of players that they could go out and get and go out and look after. I mean, you could also, I mean, you could. I doubt it, but for maybe 1 year, perhaps Trent Williams. I know there's talk of him maybe going back to San Francisco, but again, for a chance to win a Super Bowl, maybe he takes a 1 year deal. And here's the other thing too, because of the television contracts that will go into effect, I believe, on next season, you might see a lot of veterans do 1 year deals. Maybe for less money, but you can do a lot of 1 year deals, and then next year you strike it rich with the new TV contracts and the team salary caps that's going to be raised. Now, the other question that you might want to look at, Sterling, is who else will Kansas City cut? Now granted, it was said but they were $18 million over the cap, and by cutting these two players, you just reduce you reduce it down to level. Now, I thought when we were talking yesterday that they were only maybe $6 million over, $5 or $6 million over. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. What numbers are correct anymore as it relates to that. But
I could let you know. The one from yesterday that I think you may have been looking at was how much extra over the cap can teams spend based on the rollover from the previous year. So that's what their salary cap number is compared to the rest. For example, the Cleveland Browns had like $211 million to spend instead of the 182 because of the rollover money from the previous seasons.
okay, yeah, that's the first I've heard of that. So that's so I'm not. Yeah, well. That math doesn't even equate right in my mind to me. But I did go to Central High School, so stranger things have happened. But that being the case, though, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, you know, like you said, you've got to strike it rich. You got to this is the time where your scouting department gets their money's worth, and this is also where you get your money's worth if you're Brett Veach. Because look, he's already had in mind that he was going to cut these two players. So I do believe that he does have um, Orlando Brown in his sights. And look, what could you do with that 31st pick? Because he's still on the rookie deal, you could possibly maybe trade that pick to Baltimore, allow them to have two first round draft picks. You may even give up maybe a fourth rounder for next season or that season or this season because you do got two compensatory draft picks. So you could look at giving up two of those picks to get Orlando Brown, and now you got your left tackle set, and then of course Lucas Niang at the right tackle, you got that set as well. I would still look at getting a couple of linemen in the draft just to because Mike Remmers I believe he's either an unrestricted free agent or he's a restricted free agent. And then I think one of their other linemen is an unrestricted free agent as well.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs are going to have to either re-sign some of those players or at least and there's no I mean, I guess you could look at re-signing Fisher and Schwartz for smaller deals, but again, because of the injuries, it kind of defeats the purpose in doing it. I wouldn't do it. I will look and see which players are going to be out there on the market. I mean, there's so many players right now that is really hard to tell. I mean, but if you look at it, Trent Williams, again, as I mentioned before, you do have. I mean, there are Corey Linsley, center. I mean, granted,
Well, that'd be huge. If the Chiefs got Corey Linsley, that would be best case scenario because he's the best center on the market right now.
yeah, and then look, and I mean, even though I might not agree with him politically, Alejandro, Villanueva from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, that's I'm saying now that's just a long term included, but or you look at Joe Thuney from the New England Patriots. He's only 28. He plays guard, so I'm saying you've got some maneuvering that you can do. Obviously, Brett Veach is very creative when it comes to the salary cap. But I don't want to get too far into playing general manager because I know we're going to talk a little bit later about some of the free agents who are available, who might be available that the Chiefs could possibly look at bringing in as well.
To me, I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City had some feelers out on Schwartz and Fisher as far as how their recovery process is going along. But the Instagram message that Eric Fisher put out made me seem like there's no going back. When you put out a whole long release of, thanks for everything, I've been released, I'm going to bounce back, I'm ready for the next chapter. That to me seems like it's a clean break. That's not something that's saying, hey, we'll see what happens in the future. That makes me believe that, our time here was fantastic. I appreciate everything, but it's time to move on. Do you think that Brett Veach will still throw some feelers out to Eric Fisher and Schwartz just checking in on their progress, or do you think it's actually a clean break here?
I think it's a clean break, just in the manner in which he put that Instagram tweet out there. I'm not even sure whether or not the separation was amicable because again, you got to stop and think about it. Both these players are injured, okay, and they just got through a surgery. Now, I thought that I didn't think that you could release a player if he's injured or whatever, but I guess stranger things have happened. So to me, that's a little bit on the harsh side that you cut players who were injured and look, injured on your dime no less, because they were injured in the field of play. So the fact that you cut them, I don't know, man. They might feel a certain way. Now look, they were Eric Fisher was due almost $12 million. Obviously, Mitchell Schwartz was due close to six. I'm not exactly sure if I'm them, I want to come back with for less money. I mean, if you're Schwartz, look, you signed with Kansas City, you played. I think you had a 5-year deal. You played 4 of those years. You won. You won a Super Bowl. You got a chance to play in 3 AFC games. I mean, maybe look. Everybody's not trying to be Patrick Mahomes, where you're trying to win as many rings as possible. A lot of players want to get that ring. Now they want to go get paid. I mean, this could just be a situation where both players now just going to look to go. So and look, Kansas City's not the only team in the market. If you're Mitchell Schwartz, if you're Eric Fisher, obviously, well, look, Schwartz has a better chance to come back sooner than Mitchell than Eric Fisher, of course. So if I'm Mitchell Schwartz, knowing that my back, having a back surgery, if I get a chance to work out, test out with other teams, maybe LA, maybe the Rams, maybe, or maybe you get a chance to try to go down in Tampa Bay, ride the wave with Tom Brady, enjoy some of that tax free, that
He's
state.
not taking over for Tristan Wirfs.
Hold on. You don't have to take over. He can go down there and back one of those players up, get you a nice salary, and enjoy that state-free tax money. That you get, so he can make more money backing up because look, he will get a few dollars, and I'm just throwing Tampa Bay out there, but you also get a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. It doesn't have to just be in Kansas City, where you think you can come to Kansas City and win a Super Bowl. There are other legit Super Bowl contenders out there that you could have a chance to have an impact with.
I think the best bet I would put is Schwartz retires. I think Mitchell Schwartz has a better chance of retiring than playing next year.
I mean, no, that's
That would be,
fair. That's fair because of a back
yeah.
injury. It's fair.
I mean, that's what I would probably lean towards. His cap hit of 6 million was not crazy. He's been underpaid pretty much his entire time in Kansas City. He was probably the best right tackle, him and Trent Brown, for the past 4 seasons at least. He was underpaid, doing everything asked of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he just hangs the cleats up after this. I don't see a team saying, you know what, let's throw a ton of money at a guy who's coming off a back injury. I don't think that he wants to play anywhere else other than Kansas City. He seems to love the community, embraces the team, the culture. His brother Jeff Schwartz became a Chiefs fan basically because of him, it seems like. If I was a betting man, I think Schwartz is going to retire. Eric Fisher, I think, probably takes his next year off. I don't know what his market's going to look like. Like you said it best, a big dude like that coming off an Achilles injury. I don't know what his market's going to be. If a team pays him, are you going to throw him into the fire right away at left tackle? I mean, that to me seems like it could be a recipe for disaster. So I wouldn't be surprised if Schwartz retires, Eric Fisher takes a year off, maybe they regroup, maybe Brett Veach and the emotions calm down, and maybe we see him in a year from now. I think that could be a real possibility.
Well, look, if he takes that time off, look, it's one thing to go from $12 million to nothing now. So, I mean, that's going to be a hell of an adjustment either way. But you really think Eric Fisher will come back next season if he takes a year off?
I think that may be. I'm saying I don't know what his market is. I don't know what team is going to offer him a 3+ year deal, knowing he's coming off an Achilles injury. That to me seems like a very risky gamble.
Well, the only thing about that though, Sterling, is that if you take the year off, you basically got 2 years to recover, get back to full strength. So I don't think that would be too much of an issue. The question would be is how much would he be willing to take to prove himself, to make sure that he's still that number one overall draft pick that he can perform at that level. So I mean, if you were to take this year off, so to speak, he wouldn't have to come back and play until the fall of next year. So that's a long time to recover and be at full strength. So
So
I wouldn't have I wouldn't have a problem with that even if he came back to Kansas City. Now I think he'd be what 30, 31 or something. If that would have
he's
happened.
31, I think now. I think
Okay.
he's 31 by the start of this upcoming season. So if he took the year off, came back, he'd be 32, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, the offensive line, for whatever reason, those big uglies, they can play a long time. I think he's only been in the league for 8 years. So I mean, he's not old by old man standards. So yeah, I can see a scenario where he takes a year off, comes back to Kansas City for less. I mean, you can still do a 3-year deal. TV contracts kick in. The team's salary cap could go from 182 up to 210 or even 220 next season. So you could afford to bring him back. Now, not at $12 million, of course, but if he can show that he's healthy after sitting out a year, I wouldn't have a problem, giving him half of that money.
The thing is, with how good and solid he's been over the past few seasons, $12 million per year is very reasonable for a left tackle.
Yeah.
Him and Schwartz are playing on very team friendly deals. I don't know what Kansas City is going to do. I mean, if you get Orlando Brown, you're paying him probably $20+ million a year. You
You're
know,
paying him a lot of money. I'm not going to go that, but yeah, you are going to pay him a lot of money.
I'm just saying, I don't know the route Kansas City goes right here because you just saved all this money. Sure, that's fantastic. But now it's like, who are you going to put there at the same price? Because if you truly thought that Fisher was coming back and Schwartz was coming back, I don't know if you're getting a better deal than what they were on. That's where I'm at. I don't know how you're able to find players who will perform better than those two guys on a same or similar contract.
Well, the good thing is Orlando Brown, he is still on his rookie deal. So you technically would get him on his 5th-year deal. Of course, you would want to. I don't think you get a chance to franchise tag him. I think you have to
No.
draft that player.
Yeah.
So for that, I mean, get him on that 5th-year deal that you would get him for in a trade, and then look, you work out the numbers. But again, you don't have to really worry about that until next season once you know what the salary cap is going to be and see what the market is. But look, yeah, I mean, but if I'm let's not underestimate what Brett Veach and the scouting department can do because they have been able to draft great players. Or well, let me not say they've been able to draft players who've been able to contribute right out the gate. I mean, and that's what Look, we talk about on the defensive side a lot. Obviously, we would have expected Lucas Niang to contribute this past season had he not opted out. But that being the case, I do see a scenario where I know we're talking about who you gonna get in the draft, but look, there are players that played for Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State that I can assure you, if they get down far enough in the first round or even in the second round, Kansas City is going to look at those players that played for those top Power Five type teams that you can look at and look if they are born of their right ilk, they can come in and contribute right away. And look, you don't need them to come in and start, okay? Because you can go with whoever your starting five is going to be, whether it's going to be Lucas and you bring in Orlando, whatever. You just want to be able for them to get in, learn the playbook, and get reps. That's what's most important is getting reps because Kansas City doesn't have to really go out there and blow the market up trying to bring in big names. You want players that you can, if you're Kansas City, now you're gonna be putting my general manager cap on. But if I'm Kansas City, I'm looking to draft players that you can develop, like we do on the defense side of the ball. We talk about Javarius Ward and some of these other players that contribute. The kid, L'Jarius Sneed, we talk about him. Look, the Chiefs going to have him for the next 3 years. They're going to have him on a rookie deal, so you're not going to be paying him a lot of money. So you can also do that. If you draft right, and you drafting some linemen or whatever, if your scouting department is what you pay it to be, and what we expect, and what the Chiefs have shown that they can do over the last 4 or 5, 6 years, and this is going even back to John Dorsey's days, that if you hit it in the draft with these players, then you're not spending a whole lot of money on those positions just yet. Now, rent will come due, but that's 3 4 years down the way. And then of course by that time Patrick's in the midst of his contract. Patrick seems to be someone who is willing to do whatever needs to do to send to help the team out. So I would not go as far as to say that they're not going to be able to go into the draft and draft some good linemen that can contribute this year because I think that they can, and I think that they will.
Well, I think if, like Leatherwood is available, that'd be fantastic. That would be, case number one of best case scenario. My thing is, this puts so much pressure now on Brett Veach. He may have just said, you know what? Let's take the what ifs and the question marks out of the equation. Now we know what we're going in with. We know we don't have Fisher. We know we don't have Schwartz. We have Mike Rimmers, who is a unrestricted free agent, and then we have Andrew Wiley, who is a restricted free agent. So now he knows what he's going into. He knows he has a full-on rebuild of this offensive line. They've not put a lot of value into this offensive line. They've not gone in outside of Eric Fisher, put in a whole bunch of draft picks. You are right. They've gone in and developed guys. They've gone in and got guys from the Browns. They've got some late round 6th rounders, 7th rounders, and they've filled this out, and it's worked so far. I don't know if that's the route they're going to continue to go after seeing what happened in the Super Bowl. I think you are right again that they're going to put more emphasis on maybe first rounders, maybe Leatherwood, maybe some second rounders. But I think we'll see more input on this offensive line that we have seen in the past few seasons.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, I'm also looking at like Russell Okung. Granted he's 30.
Oh, yeah.
He's 32. I know he played for the Panthers and he's 32, but those are veterans. I mean, look, and you can also just look at bringing veterans in that you don't have to pay a whole lot of money because a lot of these players have gotten the big money, but maybe now it's time for them that they may feel like they can get a ring. And trust and believe. If there's one thing I know about Brett Veach and one thing I know about how these teams operate, Brett Veach would not have cut both Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz without having something up his sleeve, without already having conversations with players. We talk about tampering all the time, but I can assure you he's had conversations with either some teams or some players that are going to be free agents or that is more than likely to get cut because teams have to reach that get to the salary cap level before they can try to sign folks. I can see where Brett Veach has already made conversations with some players to bring in and to sign.
So you're saying in Brett Veach, we trust. That's what you're saying.
I'm not. No, in Mahomes, I trust. In Brett Veach, I just like to see what kind of fuzzy math he comes up with.
Yeah. Well, I think it's safe to say this is going to be a very interesting offseason. This is going to be one that has a lot of repercussions in future seasons just based on what happens right here, right now with this offensive line. We saw in the Super Bowl, this is probably the number one, position group that you really need to focus on. But not only that, you have some cornerbacks coming up. Again, Charvarius Ward is a restricted free agent. You have some wide receivers where we think we want to get better at. You need to start putting some guys there if you're not going to retain Sammy Watkins and D-Rob. I think this may be the toughest offseason yet for Brett Veach.
Hold on, Charvarius Ward I could have sworn this was his 4th year.
No, Charvarius, he came here. He was drafted by the Cowboys, and then he was traded.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was an undrafted guy, and he ended up coming to Kansas City with a trade.
Okay, but how much was his contract? Was it a 3 or 4 year deal?
He had a 3-year deal for $1.7 million total, and that is now, he's a restricted free agent though. So Kansas City does have the right of first refusal. I don't think he's going to get a super large contract. If I was a betting man, he'd be back in a Chiefs uniform. But again, that's still someone that eventually you probably have to pay more than the 3-year, $1.7 million contract.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was news to me about his contract situation. So. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. I mean, if he's a restricted free agent and you only paid him 1.7, I mean, I don't see why you don't bring him back. I mean, you give him a raise and you bring him back. I think that's pretty much cut and dry. I mean, granted, you can play hardball and you can just wait till the draft, but I mean, why would you? I mean, it only costs you. It costs you what, almost $600,000 a year for him. I mean, you bring him back.
I think if you can get him at a reasonable deal, you bring him back. I don't understand.
I give him a 3-year, $5 million deal.
That was my number in my head was 3-year, $5 million. I don't know if he takes that. I don't know if he's going to get more than that. I think this is a bad offseason to be a free agent. I know that much. I think the Chiefs probably hold the cards. They hold more power in this situation. I like Charvarius Ward. I don't like the fans who get on him. I get it. He's not Jalen Ramsey, but guess what? He's not getting paid like Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, but hold on. But here's the thing. No, but because I want to just a little pushback on that because if I'm Charvarius Ward, you could just do again. You can just sign a 1-year deal because, because the TV stuff won't kick in until next year. So you could do a 1 year, deal. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't do a 1 year deal. Let that play out. Now, whether it's with the Chiefs or anyone else, you can do a 1 year deal to prove yourself to them, and then next year, I mean, look, just like Dak Prescott, just gamble on yourself. Next year, TV money come in, you ball out. Like Javarius Ward said, he wants to be in that conversation that, like he said last year, coming to the season, he wants to be one of the best, wants to lead the league in interceptions. Granted, he had a broken hand for half the year, but if he decides to bet himself on a 1 year deal, he can cash in next year when that TV money kick in.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think that'd be the best case scenario for probably both Kansas City and Javarius Ward. I just think Javarius Ward is a very underrated cornerback and someone who I think needs to get more respect in Chiefs Kingdom. We do need to take a quick timeout. And when we come back, let's talk some college basketball. Some games have been very surprising. We'll talk some more NFL. This is Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
How does your website get noticed among the 1.7 billion on the internet? At DigiLagoon, we've been making companies stand out since 1995. This past year, more people have used the web than ever before to find exactly what they wanted. When was your site's last facelift? Is it mobile friendly? Does it have an SEO strategy? Is your social media presence designed to drive traffic to your site? DigiLagoon is the answer to all these questions and all your creative and marketing needs. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
Now more than ever, if you own or operate a medical facility, you need Walker Medical Linen Service. They provide everything your medical facility needs. A Kansas City-based company, Walker Medical Linen Services works with large hospital groups, surgery centers, medical clinics, and one-of-a-kind specialty medical spas. They supply linens, toweling, scrubs, lab coats, and patient gowns. Their processing facility is HLAC certified, the highest accreditation for a medical laundry. If you're looking to upgrade your current medical linen service, go to walkermls.com.
Harry's Razors just came out with their sharpest blades ever. But unlike other razor companies, they're not charging you more. Harry's new sharper blades are still as low as $2 each. You heard me right, just $2. How do they do it? Harry's owns a German factory that's been honing razor blades for 100 years. They source their steel from Sweden and own the entire manufacturing process, from research and development to the factory floor. It allows them to keep the prices lower. How confident are they? A 100% quality guarantee. You'll see it at harrys.com. Blades are even delivered directly to you. No getting unmasked and standing in line. They're delivered straight to your door, with or without a subscription. And right now, Harry's has a great offer for my listeners. New customers get $5 off a Harry's trial set when you use the promo code PETRO, P-E-T-R-O, at harrys.com. That's a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3, plus free shipping. That's razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for $3, shipped to you for free. Only at harrys.com, only with promo code PETRO. Hey, Soren Petro here. Why settle for pre-sliced meats and dry bread when you can get sliced to order meats piled high on soft, fresh baked bread? Founded right here in Lenexa, Kansas, Good Sense has been doing things the right way since they began. Good Sense has been a Kansas City classic for over 30 years. They've mastered the craft of soft bread by preparing and baking their signature bread twice each day. They slice all their meats and cheeses by hand to make sure that your sandwich tastes fresh. They don't do these things because they're easy. They do them because it's what tastes best. Good Sense also offers toasted subs, pastas, my daughter's absolute favorite, and even kids' meals too. And their delicious giant cookies make the perfect dessert. Find the Good Sense location closest to you at goodsense.com. Sandwich lovers in KC have chosen Good Sense for over 30 years, not because it's easy, but because it's better. No nonsense, just Good Sense.
Colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States when men and women are combined. But it can often be prevented or found at an early stage. Have you been putting off colorectal cancer screening because you think it's too expensive? Well, it doesn't have to be. There are simple, affordable tests available. Some can even be done at home. If you are 45 or older, talk to your doctor today about the option that is best for you.
The weather has changed, and next thing you know, you'll need to switch your furnace to AC. There is no better time than now to get a new AC. And this month only, you can get a new furnace for free to go with it. That's right. Buy a new AC and get a new furnace for free. Call the folks at Anthony and get ready for spring and summer while saving a lot of cash. That's Anthony. the technicians Casey has trusted for 70 years. Get more information at anthonyphce.com.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope. Darren, college basketball has been fantastic already. K-State put up a great performance last night against TCU. Their defense was stifling, and then they started hitting shots late. And then K-State's in a dogfight right now against Baylor. Are you surprised? Is this more about how K-State's played pretty solid, or is this more on is Baylor actually, a top team in, top two team in NCAA?
Well, Baylor's the top two. They're definitely a top five team. But as we talked about before we got on the air today, playing these games back to back to back, you kind of gain momentum. Baylor, they haven't played since I think since last weekend, and of course K State they just played last night, so they're more fresh. They're more they're more solid, obviously, in their road game. I don't expect them to win. I know they're trailing. I think by 4 right now with just under 30
Yeah.
seconds left to go in the ball game. So shout out to you because I know you got them at plus 20. So
Yeah,
that's
I hit the Vandy. I'm hitting Vandy. I'm hitting K-State, and I'm hitting Miami. I'm over here just killing the over-unders right now after a brutal display earlier today. But now Oregon is saving me too. So look at this, Darren. I got on the betting train, and now you have me hooked.
See, if only you'd have been doing this during the football season, you'd be a much richer man than you are right now.
I would be, and that's what's frustrating, Darren. But see, I knew this. I knew I'd get hooked because now I'm like you. Now I'm betting on teams who Miami is 10-16.
Yeah, I know. That's the way it is now. I don't know what the over under was for this particular game for K. What was the over under for Baylor and K State?
I don't know. I didn't touch it. By the way, though, my main thing is the Big 12 is hands down the best conference in basketball right now. I
No
mean, the
doubt
Big
about that.
12 is unbelievable. The morning game, what was it? Oklahoma State, West Virginia, fantastic. I mean, Iowa State put up a good fight against Oklahoma last night. Todd Lebo was right. Don't take Oklahoma with the points. I mean, this division or this conference is so deep and so talented. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see a lot of Big 12 teams go deep this year.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. I got to see how Kansas can respond today without David McCormick in the lineup. But look, I expect them to win, but I'm not gonna lie. I did cover my bets with Oklahoma and KU. I got it going all 4 ways. So in case Oklahoma decides to pull an upset and covers, they go over under, I got that covered as well. So so we'll see what happens. One of them got a hit, and
At least one's got to hit right.
well, within the parlay, other teams got hit as well. But at least if somebody falters, at least one of them, there could be one or two that are still ready to go. So we'll see how that works out. But all things being equal, I'm interested to see. Now look, not talking to him, but chatting or texting with Lebo earlier today. I asked him how the crowd was down there. He sent me audio. He sent me a video that was like 12 seconds long. And attendance is obviously sparse down there. I know they said they'd have about maybe 25%. And if that's like 3,000 to 4,000, I mean, that's horrible. The Big 12, as much as I hate to say it, Sterling, now I feel like Greg Abbott, uh, governor of Texas right now. But if I was Big 12, I would have opened it up and just let the chips fall where they may have had the crowd because I'd rather you just not have nobody there than to have people there and it's like lifeless. I mean it's like you can go there and go to sleep and waste money doing so. I thought about going. I think we were on the phone yesterday or on the show with Lebo. Told him tickets were like 12, $13. I mean, granted, I probably should have gone just to do the show from down there. Of course, I don't know how it would have happened, but I would have figured out something. But yeah, it's a case where I really wish that now the importance of having fans at games and stuff really, really, really is noticeable if if you're getting like video footage sent to you about what the atmosphere is like down there because it's horrible right now.
Well, I can't wait for next year. Just having fans back. College sports in general are just so much better with fans. March Madness with fans are unbelievable. The tournament, like the Big 12 tournament with fans, is just insane. It's so fun, especially when Kansas is good. I mean, think of K State last night just putting a beat down on TCU. Think of if the K State fans were there. Think of if K State fans were here against Baylor in this dogfight going on. Think how crazy, the T-Mobile Center would be right now.
Yeah, well, it would be great. It'd be crazy. Obviously, it looks as though Baylor is going to be able to hold on. I think it's 72-68 right now, with about 8 seconds left to go in the game. I'm interested to see how many people show up for the KU game that's going to be on ESPN later on today. I think about 5:30 or so today. And of course, whenever they get a chance to face off against against Baylor, whether it's in the semis or in the championship game, then I want to see, like I said, I want to see what the crowd atmosphere and stuff is going to be like. And now they're up by five. Looks like they're going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way out. So, yeah. So it's, I mean, look, Big 12 is here. Ohio State, they just knocked off Minnesota. I don't know if you had that and over under that. That was what 154 points. So, I mean, these are some good games, man. And actually, when we go to break, I might have to have you pick some more games. Just see how we do.
See, Darren rides my betting coattails over here is what it sounds like. You heard that, everyone. You heard that. I do want to I do I do want to say Duke, they're now done.
Yeah.
They won the first two games in the ACC tournament, but they're done. They have someone test positive for COVID. This officially ends their season. The AD said it's over. They probably weren't going to be selected for March Madness anyways. They went into this knowing they probably were going to have to win the tournament, but now they don't even get that shot. So this just kind of, to me, though, puts this in perspective. We're still dealing with COVID issues. There's still teams that have this that could end a season with one player getting it. That, to me, with the Big 12 tournaments, all these tournaments going on, I wouldn't have been opposed if no fans were allowed for this exact reason. And this is the reason why. If one guy gets it, these guys' seasons are over. You almost want to put them in a bubble because I want to see March Madness. I'd at least rather see it than have 2,000 fans there. I at least want to see it happen.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with that assessment at all. No, I want to see it happen as well. Which is why the NCAA they're having it in just one city, one location, so you have to worry about travel and stuff like that. Now, the one thing you do have to worry about, of course, is that if you're going to have all these teams come, um, I don't know where this falls during their spring break or things like that, because you're going to be having 64, 68 teams in the Indianapolis area. So I don't know how they're gonna work all that out. Obviously, we'll know Selection Sunday on the teams that are going to be there. But I mean, this is a chance, But this is a chance for the NCAA to try something new. Got to give them the benefit of the doubt and see how things go.
I do want to talk very quickly before we go back to college basketball. The new Houston Texans head coach, David Culley, reaffirms his commitment to Deshaun Watson being the quarterback of the Houston Texans. They are doubling, tripling, quadrupling down that Deshaun Watson is going to be their quarterback for now and the future. Do you believe David Culley in the Houston Texans right now?
No, but I mean, first of all, what's he going to say? I mean, the owner is saying that he's going to be there. So if you're David Culley, the last thing that you want to do is to, you're not going to side against the owner. So if the owner is saying he's going to be there, knowing, look, Deshaun Watson told you to your face that he doesn't want to be there any longer. So I think David Culley, you got to remember, this is his first opportunity to coach in the NFL. He's 60, 65, 67 years old. The man just he's just trying to get through the season, let alone start the season. Okay, so
dude's in a no-win situation right here. He's really in a no-win situation.
He really is. He did a podcast with my friends James Trotter of the NFL Network and Steve Weiss, and so I guess coming out of that in the line of questioning that they asked him, Trotter put out that he expects Deshaun Watson to be traded before the start of the NFL season. So take that for what it's worth. I'm very interested to see how it all plays out. But man, I'm telling you, it's not a scenario I really envy David Culley.
No.
And if it were, I mean, first of all, like I said, this is his first opportunity as a head coach in the NFL. He's a black coach. I know Deshaun Watson, respects him for at least for what he's done and trying to get there. But again, he's in an untenable situation where he can't win for losing, because if you say he's going to get traded, then then obviously, I mean, you know, people gonna come knocking at the door. But you say he's not, then your credibility is at stake, because he's not going to play for them.
I feel bad for David Culley. He went on to say there is no contingency in place if Deshaun decides to sit out or gets traded. That is, I mean, if you have no contingency in place, you're going into this. If you were a Houston Texan fan, this has to be miserable. I mean, just think 2 years ago, you're playing the Chiefs, you're winning before you blow it in a playoff game. And then 2 years later, your franchise quarterback, you get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. You're sitting here with Deshaun Watson, who doesn't want to play for you. Your head coach / GM gets canned for being terrible. That's AKA Bill O'Brien. This 2-year fall off of the Houston Texans has to be one of the most dramatic turn of faces I've seen in the NFL.
Yeah, it's look, man, that's a franchise that's going downward, not going upward. I know they just signed running back Mark Ingram to the team for 1 year, $3 million. Now, look, I mean,
get more running backs.
yeah,
Houston's
got
like, let's
five running
give
backs
me
now.
give me more aging running backs. Give me Mark Ingram, David Johnson. I'm wondering if Adrian Peterson is going to make an appearance.
God, I hope not. No, Adrian Peterson still has some legs left, and he still got some gas left in that tank compared to the other players right now. So no, I don't see him going there at all. He wants to play for Super Bowl, so I could see him taking less money just to go to Tampa Bay, yeah, and to play with Tom Brady. I can see that happening. But no, the Houston Texans, I don't know, man. I just feel bad for some of the parties. Like again, David Coley, Deshaun Watson. I just feel bad to be them, because seriously, because as a head
Wait,
coach,
Darren, I gotta say something before I let you finish. As it went on, David Culley says he was asked, "Is Deshaun Watson as committed to the Texans as the Texans are to him?" David Culley says, "Yes, he is."
yeah, I know that's why
That's bold face. That's bold face lie right there. I feel so. David Culley is in a no-win situation. That is one of the craziest. The reporter shouldn't have asked that. I mean, at some point you have to give this man some slack. He's in a bad position. Don't ask him this. Don't ask David Culley any more questions. Throw him
you
softballs.
No, you can't do that. I mean, you still got to do your job, man. I mean, look, now I know there are some organizations like the Chiefs who would like for you to throw softball questions at them, but we that's not the line of work that we do. At least that's not the line of work I'm in. Stroller, look, and this just popped in my head, but I do know that we do have people that listen to the show that do take our advice when it comes to placing bets. I want to play a quick game with you called Over Under. How's that sound?
Let's do it, baby.
Oregon State, UCLA, over under 133.
I actually took the over in that. UCLA they've been a team I've been riding a lot this year. Oregon was a team that I just hit on. If you have a chance to bet Oregon because they have
Oregon
been
State, not Oregon.
I know.
Okay,
I'm just saying a game that just finished for future reference, bet Oregon. And 2, I would go UCLA. I like that over there.
Okay. Nevada, Boise State, over under 146.5.
I didn't touch that one.
No.
I'm telling you, I don't know enough about those two teams. I'm not going to give out false information here. I respect my credibility here, and I'm not going to touch a game that I don't know enough about. Give me some more major teams. I ain't hitting on Boise State.
Butler, Creighton.
What's the over-under?
136.
Over.
Okay, let's go with Indiana, Rutgers, 130.5.
This one was tough. I went with the over. Both Indiana and Rutgers are two. fairly low scoring teams. That's why the over-under set at 130. But that just seems so low to me.
That's like
130,
65, 66.
65, 66. And I think both those teams can put up more than that. I went back to their previous 5 games, just seeing what they've done. I like them going over here.
Oklahoma KU, over under 134.5.
I personally went over. I have money on this game going over, but I am interested to see how KU plays without David McCormick. I have KU winning by 2.5. I have them winning, and I have the over here. But this is contingent to me on Jalen Wilson having a big game. If Jalen Wilson has a big game, I think Kansas wins, no problem, and he's going to be the difference maker. But if Jalen Wilson doesn't show up, I could see this being an extremely low-scoring game where Kansas actually falls.
The game that I know that's near and dear to your heart, Georgia, Missouri.
Yeah,
over
baby.
Under 153.5.
I went under here.
It's funny, I went under on that game as well. But did you have MU straight up, or did you have Georgia? Did you who'd you have with the points?
So I had Georgia covering this. It was 6.5 was what you had, because I had 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah. I think Mizzou wins, but I think it's by 6 points or less. I like Mizzou, but they've played in a lot of close games. I don't trust them to blow anyone out. There's a reason why they've lost to bad teams and they've won against good teams. They tend to play teams close. They don't have great three-point shooting. I'm not going to go the over because I'm not going to trust Mark Smith and Xavier Pinson to all of a sudden hit a ton of threes. We've seen Xavier Pinson go 1 of 12 from the field. We've seen Mark Smith go 0 of 6 from the three-point line.
Let's go to North Carolina, Virginia Tech, over under 140. I'm sorry, 141. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went under there. That's the tough one for me. 140 is the line where I go. 140, I could see both of them scoring over 70 points. To me, I was going, I'm out. Give me the under.
What about did you have a winner in that game or just?
I had North Carolina.
What, 3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Utah USC over under 139.5.
Oh, I've been going USC. I've been going over, and I liked USC with 7.5.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've liked USC this year. USC has been another team. I've been kind of riding this Pac-12 vibe for a while now. I don't know why I've done it this year, but I've been doing it on Tally Site, and so I figured, why not do it if I'm doing it for free, let me throw some money on this bad boy. So I've been liking USC.
All right. Now we got Penn State, Wisconsin, over under 134.
That one I didn't touch. Big Ten between these two teams. If it was 45-50, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't touch these two teams. I'm not touching.
It's like a 70-64 type game.
If you give me Texas Tech, Texas, I'll give you the over.
Oh, I was getting that. Hold on, we haven't got to Patrick yet. UNLV, Utah State, over under 137.
That one I didn't touch. But I'll give you UConn DePaul if you want it.
Yeah, what you got there? Over under
133. I got over by, I think, a good margin, and I have UConn covering the 12.5.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that. I'll just do that.
I think UConn has been playing good basketball. UConn and Oregon are two teams that I'm very confident in right now. I'm going with UConn. They're getting that 12.5, and UConn's going to go over on the 133.5.
South Carolina, Mississippi, over under 141.5. SEC, baby.
Yeah, both teams don't really play a lot of defense, but both teams' offenses aren't great. I went with see, this is what's been happening is typically I think scoring takes an uptick when it comes March. You just seem to see guys turn it on. Whichever guys have that clutch gene tend to turn it on in March. So I've been going over in a lot of games, and I'm going to continue that trend going over in this one.
Texas Tech, Texas. Patrick Mahomes will be in attendance tonight.
So I had
134. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had over easy here. I think the over is easy. I know Texas Tech's phenomenal defensively, but I think they're pretty dang good offensively as well. I think Texas is very good offensively. I think this is going to be a very fun game, a close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and I think it's going to be a game winner.
But who's going to win? Texas Tech?
Yeah, I got Texas Tech.
I'm just going to go with the over on that.
We do need to take a quick break, Darren. This is fun. I actually am enjoying this. This is
good,
your
good.
way. This is your way of getting picks for me. I get it. But don't do $1 on a 37-team parlay. That I'm not going to try.
It's too late.
Yeah,
It's too late.
I'm not down with that.
It's too late.
Okay.
$1
You make
for $11,680. We're going to see what we're going to make it do what it do, baby. Ain't nothing but $1, man. That's a large fry. Look, it's either that or I get 11,000 large fries.
Facts. Darren is putting it on the table for you, putting 11,000 large fries on the table. We do have to take a quick break.
Credibility on the line, baby. Let's do it.
We'll take a quick break. This is Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
Hi, this is Justin Cole, Private Wealth Manager at Creative Planning. Over the last few years, we have grown to one of the largest nationally recognized wealth management firms in the country. While we are proud of our success, we are most proud of our Kansas City roots. We were founded in Kansas City and remain headquartered here because there's no place we'd rather be. We are Kansas City strong. Thank you, Kansas City, and thank you to our clients. If you're not a client, we invite you to reach out for a free, no-obligation financial review. You can find us at creativeplanning.com or by calling 913-338-2727.
Are you looking for unique sporty clothing and merchandise that makes you stand out from the crowd? Do you love Kansas City sports teams? The Cherry Company designs and creates fashion-forward gear for athletes, avid sports fans, and everything in between. Check out our famous Casey Mahomes denim jacket at cherrysportsgear.com or find it in stores in the Made in KC, Lee Summit, or Plaza location. Sport styles, sport local, sport Cherry. Want a 20% off discount? Mention 810 Sports in store or use code 810 online. Stay on top and visit cherrysportsgear.com today.
Hey, Kansas City, Soren Petro here. With riding season coming up quick, this is the perfect time for you to talk with my guys at Worth Harley-Davidson. They have a pair of options to help you buy that new Harley of your dreams. Choose 0% interest for up to 72 months or choose full retail book value for your trade. The experts at Worth Harley-Davidson will show you both options so you can decide what is best. Shop the inventory online, then come in to make your choice. 0% or retail value for your trade. Worth Harley-Davidson, I-29, just south of the airport. Not all buyers qualify, see dealer for details.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
This is Ford Truck Month, but you've done it again.
We have, Toby. We love Truck Month, and we did do it again. We are the #1 F-150 dealer in the greater Kansas City area for the 4th year in a row here at Lewisburg Ford.
That is absolutely amazing. How come?
Because we sell everything for $50 over factory invoice, Toby. We've won the President's Award 18 times. That's unheard of. And we've got the biggest selection of anybody in the area, Toby.
Anybody interested in a Ford F-150 pickup needs to go to Lewisburg Ford.
Right.
What are some deals?
Right now, Toby, the brand new 21 F-150, it's hot, it's gorgeous, it's got a big 12-inch touchscreen, and we've got up to $10,000 off top MSRP at Lewisburg Ford.
Okay, this is easy. The best place to buy a Ford pickup is at Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Or lewisburgford.com.
Whether you're looking for energy savings for the winter or updating your home office or man cave, One Stop Decorating is the place for beautiful energy-efficient window coverings. One Stop Decorating offers free in-home or virtual consultations, or you can come into one of their 3 beautiful showrooms to see all the window coverings in their Hunter Douglas galleries. Ask about smart shades that can be controlled by Google, Alexa, and HomeKit. 913-270-0408. 913-270-0408 or onestopdecorating.com. Your home, your windows, your style.
Have you ever turned down a project because you didn't have the right trucks at the right time? With City Rented Truck is your fleet solution, that will never happen again. They give you the freedom to grow your business without fleet limitations, leaving no project behind. Don't pay 100% of the cost of ownership for a vehicle you use 50% of the time. The flexible rental and lease options allow you to only pay for what you need. Visit cityrentedtruck.com to see the large selection of work trucks and vans and request an online quote today.
All right, listen up. Deck weather is right around the corner. For me, there's no better way to enjoy some free time than relaxing on a beautiful, warm, quiet evening on my deck. And all-weather decks make sure that you have the perfect place to relax or entertain friends. If you thought about replacing that old deck last year but didn't get it done, make that call right now to All Weather Decks. All Weather Decks is a 22-time winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award. Call today, 913-206-1974. Go right now to allweatherdecks.net and relax.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com. Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope. Darren, I hope we did good for people. I hope our bets are going to win people lots of money.
Well, first of all, I'm trying to figure out how you said you won with Vanderbilt and they lost. They lost to Florida
Last night.
Last night. Okay.
And by the way, I won with them again today, taking the point spread. I took them, K-State, and Miami. Hit them all, baby.
What was the
Give
point
me it.
spread on them?
Racking them in. Come on, Darren. I know what I'm doing over here.
All right, well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Because if I don't win this $11,000, you and I are gonna have some issues.
See, this is your issue. I don't do a massive parlay. I do single individual games. I get it. I'm winning chump change, but I'm still winning.
Yeah,
that's
see, look,
the
hold
key.
on, hold on. But here's the thing: if you're winning them individually, put it all together, you make a whole lot much more.
But you don't win all of them. If you win 3 out of 4 games, you're still winning. If you don't win the fourth, then you basically lose all 4. But if you win 3 out of 4, you're still doing good.
I agree. That's why it helps to have that dollar. So that way you look at how you're investing it.
Darren, I think we need to team up with Aloe Black. You know that song, I Need a Dollar? And just like, I need a dollar so I can put it on a 17-team parlay. That's what we need that dollar for.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I agree with you.
All right, well, who do you have in tonight's game? With Kansas, who do you have winning, and do you have the over? You gave me all these. You grilled me. Let me grill you.
Well, that's because you just to make my picks. But yeah, I got KU winning. I got them winning at -2.5, and I have them going over.
All right, so we agree. Darren and I agree. Take it, lock it, take it to the bank, but don't come at us if we are wrong. This was Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City. Thank you guys so much for listening today. We'll be back live in studio tomorrow from 3 to 4 p.m. right here on 1510 AM, 94.5 FM. We are out.